The following commentary is for entertainment purposes only. The opinions shared aren't personal, often said in jest, and have no merit in the real lives of the cast members. With that being said, let's binge, let's banter, and most importantly, let's move on. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind Season 7, The Reunion. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Let's just focus on that subscribe. A lot of y'all are watching and not subscribing. Clearly you like it here. Stick around a while, okay? Thank you very much. So, we're going to start with all the couples who are coming in, well, the people on the show, let's say. They start with Taylor and Garrett, followed by Ashley and Tyler, then Marissa, then Ramsay's, who kind of didn't look happy at first. Then came Hannah, then Nick, then Steven, then Monica, then Alex, and then Tim, who also didn't look that happy. They start with Taylor and Garrett and ask them how married life has been since the show ended.
Is Garrett still the best catch of them all?
Of course he is. He's my best friend, so yeah.
Is it safe to say we can call this Taylor's version? Well, no, in all seriousness, though, guys, I love fishing. Why wasn't I invited on this bromance?
For the longest time, since Garrett's hairstyle went viral, I was wondering, why does he remind me of somebody, and I can't pinpoint it? Flynn Rider from Tangled. That's who he looks like. But anyways, he looks happy and healthy. Okay, Taylor looks happy and healthy. Was this a Halloween theme with all their outfits? Some of them look like costumes. I think it was Halloween, right? Anyways, they've done a lot of fishing. They're just living their merry life, okay? He has even invited Tyler on one of his fishing trips, okay? And speaking of Tyler, he is asked, how are you feeling with everything that's been going on? Social media is talking, and he says everything is great since the show ended.
Those kids, that family, they did not sign up for this. I did help a friend and her wife start a family. I voluntarily stepped in and helped. Her wife ended up leaving her and left her high and dry. But I don't owe anyone an explanation but my wife.
She was blindsided. She didn't know. It's like insulting to my intelligence. Who do you think has better insight on what's going on, social media or me?
I don't think so.
You can tell that
he was trying to lie.
Yeah. You just know Tyler and his heart to know that had to be hard to navigate with a friend.
The way Ashley was clutching on to that knee this whole segment, she is trying to prove, got my man. Not too much on my man. Okay, Ashley, we see you, girl. That's your man, girl. Tyler is sticking to the story that he simply is just a sperm donor. He stepped in a time of need for his friend a few times. And Ashley knew everything before going into this marriage. And even Ashley speaks up and she says that it is disrespectful for us to undermine her intelligence and to speculate whether or not she knew what she was getting into. Now, me personally, I've kind of been leaning on the side of, I think she's accepting it. Like, I do think there's parts of it that she didn't know, but I also think that she knew enough to make an informed decision. And her decision was yes. So, heck. But to the people who've been saying, oh my gosh, Ashley's being bamboozled, she's being scammed. She said, no scam here, baby. She said, no scam. And this better be Halloween, because I was trying to figure out, what the hell is Tyler? Tyler is the scariest one on that stage. No, but seriously, was this supposed to be for Halloween? Because if it is, let me name who I think the people look like. So far, we have a princess and the frog. Freaking frog. And it's funny because Ramsay's looks like the guy who sings, "Are you ready?" And then we have Barbie. We have, I don't know what Monica is supposed to be. She kind of looks like a mummy to me. I guess Ashley is the Black Widow. Taylor kind of looks like a statue. What's his name? Garrett. I would say Matador. But yeah, I was thinking these are some interesting costumes. But like I said, Tyler, scariest one on that stage. Scariest one. As we know, the reunion was filmed a few weeks ago, so a lot of information has come out since then. And granted, it's your life. Listen, not my clown, not my circus. But I would have liked to think that Ashley wouldn't have stuck by a man like Tyler, at least the way that I have envisioned Tyler in my mind now. At the end of the day, I don't know that man. I don't know that woman. Again, not my clown, not my circus. They're happily married. That's their business. Now, what I do know is if she's willing to die on this hill, knowing all that we know now, I'm not encouraging people to go and attack her. Y'all know, I think that's weird behavior. I do think that if things don't pan out for them, I don't think she should say nothing on the internet. Don't say nothing about being scammed. Don't say nothing about, oh, I didn't know. Especially because she's taking it as a flex. She said, don't undermine her intelligence, okay? She's flexing. I knew what I was getting into. So if she comes out and she starts being like, oh my gosh, I didn't really realize, I think the internet is going to eat her up. They shouldn't. Because there are people at the end of the day. People make mistakes, okay? But I do think if this doesn't pan out and she comes out with this like big story, I don't think the internet's gonna have her back because the sympathy they had before the reunion might be gone after the reunion. When asked what they love about marriage, Ashley says that Tyler is her best friend and her safe space. Tyler says that he has never experienced the kind of unconditional love that Ashley has shown. Boy, neither have I, okay? This is the love like a mother. Mercy, God. Whew, all the best to y'all. So the Lachey's turned to AD to ask her to chime in on, watching this whole season unfold, especially because she was in a similar position not too long ago. AD says that her vulnerability touched a lot of people. I love that for you guys who were touched by her vulnerability. Me personally, I was concerned by some of her decisions, but hey, okay. It touched a lot of people. And honestly, it's good. Like, I love to watch reality TV because it does point to things that are present in reality. The story might have some contrived moments, but they portray a lot of things that people can relate to. So a lot of people related to AD's story. That's great. She says that she is currently exploring a little something. Okay, she doesn't say explicitly that they're in a relationship, but either way, she's keeping it hush-hush. Happy for her. Now, I'm so tired because it's this reunion and the last reunion. I'm so tired of them now trying to do this whole like, oh, let's reunite everybody from previously. Respectfully, no, I didn't come for that. This season had so much meat, so much to dig into. We didn't need the filler stuff. I don't know who's been checking to see what Jessica's been. Who is checking for Jessica? Not me. And if we're checking for these people, have a separate reunion. I feel like if Netflix is really trying to milk this Love is Blind machine, create an alum reunion. Don't include it in the season reunion. They move on to Ramsay and Marissa, who gets really emotional because watching herself back on screen was as if she was reliving the heartbreak all over again.
God, I'm such a crybaby.
She deserves a person and a love that will embrace who she is fully as she is. For majority of this experience, I thought I had found it in Marissa. I didn't come into this experience wanting to devastate anyone. I just felt that that person couldn't be me.
What I don't understand about Ramsay's, and I'm sure most of you guys can agree, is in the pods, he seemed to accept a lot of things that he then turned around and made an issue. Her energy in the pods he loved, but then he turned around and made it an issue. Her military service, he seemed to be okay with it enough to want to pursue things on the outside. That became a thing. Like, Ramsay's, you're giving very inconsistent. And Ramsay's, I'm not gonna lie, he's probably the only guy who played this reunion smart. He knew if I come on Raw, it's only going to end horribly for me. So I just need to come with my tail between my legs, admit fault, be extremely apologetic, and absolutely silent. Like, he did not speak unless he was spoken to. And sometimes he had to be like coaxed to really speak on certain things because he was adamant on not saying too much, okay? But Ramsay's is giving fraud, especially when we learn, because Marissa has been doing interviews, that his ex-wife was getting remarried around the time of them filming the show. So it now makes me wonder what part of his indecision was due to all of that happening. And if it did play a part, then Marissa never stood a chance. Nobody did. Absolutely nobody did. All of a sudden, you had to talk with your family. You've had to change your heart. Please. Marissa says that, Marissa has been going online saying, listen, what I did was not begging. People are torn about that. Listen, I don't know. You can see it as begging. It kind of looks like begging to me. But I also do see that sometimes in this new generation, we don't fight hard for love. But I also don't want to fight for something that seems like a losing battle. Like, what would even be the point? He had his mindset. What's the point? I would take the Alex route. Are you willing to fight for this? Are you willing to stick it out and see if we can work? No? All right, then I'm done. I'm not even going to say anything else. That's what I would do. But anyways, she also did say that she later asked Ramses if they could see Wagwan. He said, I don't want nothing to do with you. Sorry. He said he was done for good. So yeah, the relationship ended. Vanessa, being Marissa's mom, says that it is a blessing that Ramses ended things. She also asked Ramses if they could see, like what's going on? Why are you coming to this decision? Like, let's really think about it. But at the end of the day, she being Marissa, would have done the heavy lifting in that marriage. So it's best that Ramses cut it off. Now, and as much as everybody is pointing fingers at Ramsay saying he could have said things sooner, he absolutely could have. There were too many fundamental disagreements for them to go as far as they did, right? But I'm also looking at Marissa. And Marissa has admitted this too, before people think I'm just being mean, okay? Marissa is such a people pleaser. And she's such a hopeless romantic. And she says that watching herself back was quite sobering because she didn't realize how many things she was just letting slide. And that's what I wish for Marissa. Like, yes, he could have been more forthright with where he stood. But she could also take a step back and analyze the situation more. There were so many things that she should have looked at him and said, you know what? You're not my person. And this is not going to work. And I get this whole, I look at the person's character and whatever. Like, that is absolutely great because character lasts the longest, right? But the fundamental beliefs play into character, I feel. A lot of things just were not making sense. And I feel like she was fighting a losing battle. And maybe she could have saved herself a little bit of some of that heartbreak if she would have done an assessment and realized, you know what? This man is not for me. I am wasting my time. Ramsay says he wants to clear the air about the contraception conversation. He says that they eventually did come to a resolve that they both agreed to. And he says even if they didn't, he never would have put Marissa in a position where she would be forced to do something that she was uncomfortable with. He did understand the effects that birth control and whatever has on the woman's body. And he never would just force a woman to go through that. Now, based on the edit, that's not what it seemed like. It seemed like he was a whiny baby, but Marissa didn't rebuttal, so I'm just going to take his word for it. So they talked to Zach and Bliss. I never really cared for Zach and Bliss, but congratulations on the baby. Yay. Then they move on to Hannah and Nick. Now, Hannah, this girl is doubling down on her behavior.
My personality is I'm very to the point. I'm very direct. That's just who I am. I'm very blunt. I think I'm just like telling you exactly how it is, but really I just sound like a bitch. I'm aware though, even when we film, I'm aware that like I need to chill sometimes. Like that's inherently who I am, and like I'm just direct. Period. I'm very direct.
I was a little confused with some of the things that she was saying. Financially literate, respectful. We weren't on the same level intellectually. Her perspective and her opinion, I just saw it a little bit different.
Hannah seems to take pride in being a bitch. And I mean, it's a weird thing to be proud about, but okay. I thought she would be a little bit more remorseful than she was. I really did. Watching herself back, she can acknowledge that she says things in a very rude way. She can be mean. And then there's some things that she says later on in the episode that I'm like, oh, so you were being mean on purpose. But anyways, she's like, listen, I said what I said and it might have come off harsh, but I don't regret what was said. I can't really be too mad at her on that. Like, I like a person who stands on business. If you're not going to be extremely apologetic, I would rather you stand on business. And she's standing on business. One thing I do not like is when someone is very defensive. And that's what Steven is going to... Steven was giving very defensive. I said, I don't trust that. I don't trust it. But yeah, she said, listen, there were things going on behind the scenes that were unfavorable regarding Nick. And so she says... Nick came for clout and he's really eating off that clout because she's getting DMs from other women and whatever. I don't get why people do that. Like, why are you DMing Hannah? They're obviously not together. What? Who cares what he's getting up to? But anyways, I think that Nick was trying to lean heavily into the victim role, and it's clearly not working.
Hannah's fantastic. She's been getting way too much hate online.
Why are you
it's not
liking the hate
necessary.
comments then that people are leaving on your page?
So, if
I don't
it's
think you mean it like that, but it
comments,
hurts my feelings.
Yeah, no, I get it.
He wants to be the most famous person ever on Love is Blind.
Do you remember writing that stuff?
Yeah. I want to set the record straight. That was way before I even knew I was going to be on the show.
I don't think Nick was ready to be a husband, at least when it comes to the practical stuff. It seemed like he was willing to grow and learn and whatever, but there was just too much to grow and learn in the span of a month. It's just, no, this is not a class project. Like, what is this? What are we doing? So Hannah says that he wanted to be the biggest star of Love is Blind, and he claims that that is not true. She says that he had been saying cash crazy things about her, and he called her a grenade. If you never watched like Jersey Shore, grenade just basically means like an ugly girl. She says that at least she was honest to his face, whereas he was dishonest to her face, and he would say mean things behind the scenes. Honestly, I kind of agree with that. As mean as she was, at least she would say how she actually feels. Nick can't really be trusted because he's putting on a front. She then says she doesn't understand how he could go to the cameras and say things were so great if she was obviously being mean to him. And that's what made me think, okay, so were you doing it on purpose? Because then Hannah also says things like, I don't understand why he let me speak to him in that way. It almost sounds like you were trying to see how far you could push him, and that's weird. But also, if you're wondering why he would stick around the way that you would speak to him, I'm wondering if you heard that he was saying all these cash crazy things about you behind the scenes, why would you stick around? I feel like it's the same thing. So anyways, the girls are like, I don't know why the guys are being quiet, because they're obviously aware of the things that Nick has said. And I was patiently waiting for one of the men to corroborate, and it's Steven of all people.
Said your
Are
piece.
y'all really gonna sit here and
That's
just, like,
not
come
true,
on,
Vic.
come on.
Did that happen? Yeah.
If there's any moment to take accountability for anything, it's right now.
Yeah.
Things were said.
Why did she invite me over a month after the show to hang out?
Because we're all human. I was fucking that man. Like, we all do crazy shit.
When Marissa was like, well, I was still effing him. Oh, okay. You gotta love how genuine she is. But sometimes I'm like, see, Marissa, this is why people think you be begging, girl. Like, come on. Anyways. Nick. Social media has been treating Nick like a baby angel. And I don't know if that's going to continue, seeing how he came off during the reunion. It does sound like he was fronting for the cameras. We do know that Love is Blind has changed a lot of people's lives. Like, you never have to go back to regular work. So if you crack the code, it's a great day for you. And it looks like that's what Nick was trying to do. Even on social media, the little bits that I've seen, he's been playing such a good sport, He's been supporting Hannah and whatever. But then apparently, according to Hannah, he's been liking negative comments about her. Just, I don't know. He was trying to play into the audience, and I'm intrigued to see if the audience is still going to have the same sympathy that they have for him. There's a question that the Lachey's ask Hannah, and they ask her, is she happy with herself? Especially because she's done a lot of inner work, outer work. Well, there's a lot more inner work that could be done. But, she's obviously had a transformation physically, and she says she's not sure. She ultimately is like, no, I think I'm okay. Like, I think I'm happy with myself. But the fact that she wasn't sure in the beginning just makes me think like, girl, talk to the lady. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like Hannah tries to suppress that she's dealing with. And it comes off very negatively, as we've seen. And she's out here like, well, that's just how I am. I'm a brash talker. I'm this, I'm that, whatever. You don't have to be. You've acknowledged here that maybe you're not as content with yourself as you thought. That's okay. We're human. We get down on ourselves. Check that. So you don't project that onto other people. So the Lachey's asked Katie for her opinion on Hannah saying that she didn't really trust her as her best friend. I don't really care about that. Even Hannah didn't care. Hannah was like, girl, you my girl. I trust you. I trust you. Now, Marissa's mom, she said to Hannah, she said to Katie, but they made you feel like trash for like a year. But Hannah made you feel like crap for a year. So I'm like, I don't think them three are besties anymore, because they used to be Katie, Marissa, and Hannah. I don't think it's the same. but we're moving on. Then they bring out Leo and Brittany. I feel like this segment was way longer than it needed to be, but we learned that they are really good friends.
You know, you're between should I have the pasta or the steak? And you're trying to take every little bit of time. The issue is the food has feelings. So sorry, you do not deserve that. I put you through a hell of a lot too, and I'm so sorry also.
Tim and Steven come to Leo's defense and they say that Leo is just a misunderstood guy. He really was genuine. He came in for the right reasons. Whatever. There was somebody that I knew in real life, and online they were just so problematic. And whenever they would agree with something that I would say, I would notice, I would take notice to what I was saying. Like, hold on, let me reassess that. And sure enough, when I had some time to think on it, I'm like, oh no, that's not what I meant to say at all. I think that's what's happening here. It is very interesting that the people who come to Leo's defense are Tim and Steven. Yeah. Anyways, they asked Brittany how things went in Miami and stuff. And she says, honestly, there was potential with them. It's just the little idiosyncrasies of Leo that she did not like. She says that at the reveal, what made her really uncomfortable was the scenario and not Leo himself. She says she wishes that he actually kissed her more to keep her from talking. I don't know how far true that is, but she says it was great and there was potential. And she knew that they weren't going to go to Cabo. They had the weakest connection, and that's why they had the plan to go to Miami already set in place. Leo is still standing by the fact that he's a good dude and, you know, he's on the market. He's open, ready to mingle. She has somebody, but she did not go into detail, so we're going to move on. Steven and Monica's segment is next, and Steven claims that he can't tell us what was in the text because he deleted the text.
What was in the text?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. They're pretty juicy.
There were DMs set. Let's get to the.
I don't remember. I really don't. I deleted them.
You respect that individual, but you certainly didn't have respect for me in that moment.
We met up for dinner. We wrote a letter to her parents apologizing for my
Steven.
actions.
As soon as I got that letter, I was like, he's doing this so he can say it at the reunion.
Nobody's really wanted to listen to me from the beginning.
I want to hear.
Nobody wants to believe me. Nobody cares about my side of the story. I had a moment of weakness where somebody texted me at how much more responsibility do I have to take? I never deleted it because to me, I emotionally conquered a demon that I've been fighting for a while. Read books, I go to therapy, I do all these things. At the end of the day, nobody cares.
All of a sudden, Steven wants to talk about respect. Oh, out of respect for that lady, I'm not going to talk about what was in our text. How about out of respect for your partner that you're with? You're not even going to text somebody in that way in the first place. How about that? Okay. And then he starts to go on his whole spiral thing. Y'all know this man be talking. And every time he talks to me, it sounds like bull. Okay, he's just talking. He feels like, oh, why are they asking him, but then not giving him the space to actually explain himself? And if nobody's going to listen, then there's no point in him talking and blah, blah, blah. Like he's really trying to be the victim. Sir, stop it. Stop it. You yourself expose the fact that you have a history of not only going for women who are clearly out of your league, then feeling inferior and ultimately cheating on them. Like, what are we doing here? This is a pattern, sir. It's a pattern. And although I do think that people need to lay off on the accusations that they're making, like some people were saying, oh, protect his dog because we don't know what he's doing. Guys, putting bestiality on people, actually relax. But he had to know that he was going to catch some heat from the audience because why come on a show and then actively cheat on the show? The least you could have done is be like SK and get caught after the fact. Like, bruh, you're doing it on the show. How brazen are you? Crazy. So then Monica is asked why she was so forgiving of Steven in the pause because he exposed the fact that he had been a previous cheater. And she says that she's been with cheaters in the past. She's forgiven cheaters in the past. And the difference with Steven is that he was forthright with his cheating information. Girl, respectfully, what does that mean? What does that mean? Didn't I say I question Steven's honesty? Just because somebody is like forthright with their past and stuff doesn't mean that they've worked through that stuff and don't plan on repeating their past. Like, it is still a concern whether or not he's being honest about it. So we move on to Tim and Alex. Whew. boy, this was a rough one. Like, clearly they haven't had time to hash this out between each other. And so this is the first time that they're really getting to the nitty-gritty of what happened in Cabo and in their relationship as a whole.
My dad had been admitted to a rehab facility, and I just wanted space.
You're crying on the floor, so I'm trying to be there for you. It quickly turns contentious. I know that I'm a 225, 6-foot black man. What happened with the hand being put over my mouth was put over my mouth.
I was trying to protect him, disrespecting me for like over an hour. I said, you're acting like a little ass bitch.
Y'all ask men to take you seriously, and why would you belittle me? Why the attitude? Why? What did I do?
So to me, it does sound like there was some miscommunication regarding what Alex needed in that moment. She needed space. Tim claims he wanted to just be there for her. And ultimately it just turned into the firework that it was. Now, she does say that she never actually physically assaulted him. I believe her. I'm not saying I don't believe her. I just still stand by the fact that you need to be careful what you do with somebody who you do not know, especially, no offense to the ex-military people. I would be careful. Whether you're waving your hand or putting your hand, I would err on the side of caution. That is all. But anyways, Tim says that he wanted to leave the situation because he understands this is television. And honestly, I hear him on this one. Being the 6 foot whatever height he said, black man that he is, there is a portrayal of that archetype, and it's often a negative one. That is real. If he's getting loud and whatever, it's not gonna look good, even if he's in the right to be upset. Now, do I believe he's in the right? No. And let me explain why, okay? Alex also says that the reason why she was motioning him to be quiet was because producers were on the outside and they were actively trying to keep this altercation off camera. So there's the answer for people who've been wondering where the hell was production, right? He keeps saying, I'm just a man trying to love you. Why won't you let me love you? Why were you so mean to somebody who's just trying to love you? And at that point, I was like, everything she has said so far, I believe her. I believe her. Because I have also been in a situation where somebody told me, I don't get why you're acting this way. Like, I'm just trying to love you. I'm just trying to be a good, and you're trying to come off like you're the good guy. Sorry, you played a part in this. Don't make it seem like I'm delusional and I'm just being difficult for no damn reason. Don't do that. Don't do that. I will take responsibility for my part, but don't act like you're just innocent in all of this. Okay? That's what we're not going to do. Now, Tim had a good point that I agreed with. He said that with the whole nap situation, Alex explains that she truly was overworked. She had to bartend. She had plans. She's a very busy fashion stylist, something, whatever, right? And she did indulge the family for at least 4 hours, right? Tim says that the same respect that he gave to her family was not extended from Alex to his family. And on the surface, just that statement alone, I think that I would have reacted the same way. I don't play about my family, especially if I show up the way that Tim did for somebody else's family. Like, I'm putting my best foot, I'm cooking, I'm slaving, I'm explaining it, like, bruh. Where is the courtesy for my family? Now, where he loses me is when Alex says, after they had the parent conversation with her dad, he then expressed that he was feeling doubts. So what incentive does Alex have to show as her best self? What incentive? There's nothing. There's no incentive there. So I was with him, but then I was like, well, if you were already showing signs that you were retreating, like, why would I, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Bruh, make it make sense. Anyways, things get really heated between them, and the Lachey's just decide, you know what? It's clearly a miscommunication. Do you guys want to talk about it after? And they said, hell no. And so we're off of that. They talked to Jessica from season 1 and her husband. Skipped over that. Don't really care. But again, congratulations on the baby. Yay. Then they touch base with, oh yeah, Marshall and Nancy. Marshall has moved to LA and he is single. He and Dr. Che, is it Che or Shay? Or was she a nurse? Anyways, they broke it up. So he is single. Don't know if he's ready to mingle, but he's out there in LA, y'all, for y'all who want him so badly. Then Nancy, she says that she also moved. She moved to New York and she's currently with a partner. I think they showed him, but she said that he's shy, so they didn't really go into that. Then they talked to the married couples. Taylor and Garrett say that they actually never moved to San Diego. And Garrett opened up after the show saying how hard it really would be for him to move. I don't even know why he would put it out there in the first place. Just being in like the delusion of love, like still have some sense of reality. You know how attached you are to your family. You know that moving across country is going to be hard for you. So why even say, oh, I would do that for you? Like no questions asked. I do still find it weird that Taylor came onto a show with the intention of leaving where the show was being filmed, knowing that you're probably going to match with people who live there too. I still find that weird, but Garrett went along with it. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, Garrett, come on. But anyways, they decided to live somewhere more neutral, which is DC. She's lived there before, so she's not opposed to it. And she says, although she loves her family, her marriage comes first. And so they're going to stay there for a while until they figure things out. Then we move on to Tyler. He says that he hasn't gotten Ashley's name tattooed on his chest yet. I think he said he was going to do it under his, was it under his breast? Whatever. Anyways, I have a sneaky suspicion that he would only do that as a last ditch effort. That's what I think. Y'all let me know why you think he hasn't done it yet, because the way this man was so head over heels for Ashley, I would do anything. Y'all jump out of a plane for you. I'll tattoo you. Why haven't you done it yet? Do it now. Do it on screen. Bring out the tattoo. Anyways, they end by telling us that the next season of Love is Blind is going to be in Minneapolis, and we actually get to meet some of the castmates.
What's up?
Hey. Alex, can you wave to everybody?
Hi. You kind of see the same people over and over, and it's such a small community. It's not like a major city, but it's also not a small town.
Brittany, hey girl. And Joey. It's time to wrap it up, right, Marissa? Right, Ramsay now? Okay.
Y'all know me. I'm a Love is Blind junkie. The more, the merrier. I am so excited. I'm so excited. It is coming in on February 14th. So it's gonna premiere on Valentine's Day, and apparently this is the 5th year since the first season. Crazy. I feel like time is going by so fast, but I love Love is Blind, so I'm ready for it to come. You guys let me know your thoughts on this season as a whole, your thoughts on the reunion. I will still be doing my last impressions video. I'll probably put that out on Sunday just because I've got some things going on this week. So Friday, if you're sticking around for Love is Blind commentary, you can find me and Tammy on Tammy's channel, along with Roxy Says and Chloe Johnson. And then we'll see. I'll keep my eye out on whatever Love is Blind stuff is going on. You guys don't have to send me things, because I know y'all love to send me like interviews and stuff. I'm not going to watch all of them. I'll tell you right now, I'm not. But if I find one that's interesting, I'll come back and give my commentary. But until then, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.